Hey, what's up everyone? My name is techgeekjosh and you're currently watching the review of the Samsung Galaxy J3 Orbit for Straight Talk Wireless. So, first things first, let's go ahead and take a look around the outside of the Samsung Galaxy J3 Orbit itself. So, right up front we have our earpiece, right underneath of it we have our Samsung branding, and to the far left we have our 5 megapixel front facing camera. Then we have our 5-inch, yes, you heard me right, 5-inch TFT display with a resolution of 1280 this way by 720 this way, and a pixel per inch count of somewhere in the high 200s. And before I go any further into the video, I would like to point out that basically what I'm going to be saying throughout this review is basically based off of CPU-Z and some information off the internet, so keep that in mind throughout this whole review. Then down below we have our recent apps, home, and back buttons, and as you can see the outside buttons, the capacitive buttons on the outside are very reminiscent of that of a Galaxy S8 and or Galaxy S9, so that's quite a neat feature with the Galaxy J3 Orbit. And then right in the center we have our dedicated home button, which, take note, does not have a fingerprint scanner. Then on the left side of the J3 Orbit we have our separated volume controls. Then on the bottom we have a micro USB charging port. Unfortunately no USB Type-C here or fast charging of any sort. Then to the right of it we have our legendary headphone jack, and to the far left we have a little pinpoint microphone. And on the right side we have our side firing speaker, which is right here, which is a very nice inclusion of this device. And then we have our dedicated power button. On top we have nothing except for a little pinhole microphone. And on the back we have our 8 megapixel rear camera, LED flash right underneath of it, and our Samsung branding. And unfortunately this back is plastic. For whatever reason I was expecting it to be either metal or aluminum, but it's plastic for this device. Now that we basically covered everything around the outside of the J3 Orbit, let's go ahead and get into the inside. And once you power this device on, the screen is probably one of the best things about this whole device. It's 720p resolution, which is quite nice for a phone of this caliber. Definitely good thing it wasn't a 480p panel. It's 720, so it's pretty nice and colorful and has a lot of detail and whatnot, so that's really, really nice. So that means it has very nice viewing angles, as you can see, tilting it this way and tilting it this way. That's probably too far, but you can see how it performs. As you can see, really, really nice viewing angles from just about any angle that you look at it. So the display on the Galaxy J3 Orbit here is one of its strong suits. Powering the J3 Orbit is a 1.35 GHz Samsung Exynos octa-core processor with 2 ARM Cortex A73 and 6 ARM Cortex A53 CPUs and a Mali G71 GPU, as you can see right here in CPU-Z. And here is the Mali G71 GPU. So the chipset on this device is quite different than that of a regular smartphone. As for the RAM with the J3 Orbit, it has 2 GB of RAM. Right now, currently 34% is being used, and for the ROM we have 16 GB of built-in storage with around 9.4 GB available to the user out of the box. At least in my case, I had 9.4 GB available, and right now I'm currently setting at 10.93 GB of internal storage, and available is 7.69, which is 70%. So you can tell I don't have a lot of content on here. And you can further expand the storage via a micro SD card slot, which is found right underneath the back cover. Popping off the rear casing, we see that the micro SD card slot is right here along with your nano SIM card slot, and this device can support up to a 400 gigabyte SD card, which is very out of the ordinary with this device because we usually see devices supporting up to like at least a 32 gigabyte micro SD card, or in the AT&T Axios case, a 64 gigabyte micro SD card. But correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that device could support up to a 64 gigabyte SD card, or that's what it said on the packaging. So that's very nice with the J3 Orbit. And since we're back here, you can see that the J3 Orbit is powered by a rather small 2600 milliamp hour user removable battery that can be removed if need be, in case you want to put in a spare battery that you may have in case you run out of juice in your current battery. And according to the packaging, battery talk time is rated at 19 hours with a standby time of up to 21 days. And unfortunately, this is one of its downsides, because if you look at like the Moto E4 and G4 Play, now granted those devices are quite old compared to this J3 Orbit itself, but those devices had a 2800 milliamp hour battery, and this J3 Orbit here manages to have a 2600 milliamp hour battery. So in my personal opinion, they could have added and should have added at least a 2800 milliamp hour battery to this phone. But however, battery life for me does not seem to be an issue so far. I've been getting really good usage out of it, but of course I haven't been using it all that much. And well, I'm currently sitting at 84% battery, and it's currently on its very first charge since I unboxed it. And that's due to the fact that this device, or at least my J3, came with 19% battery right out of the box, which was very odd. But of course, mileage may vary depending on how you use the phone. So now let's go ahead and jump into the phone's settings and basically take a look around to see what the J3 Orbit has to offer. So under connections, we see that we have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, data usage, airplane mode, mobile hotspot and tethering, mobile networks, location, and under more connection settings, we have nearby device scanning, printing, and VPN. And then, as you can see here, if you're looking for something else, there is a toggle or a setting for Samsung Cloud. Then under sounds and vibration, we have sound mode, vibrate while ringing, use volume keys for media. And then under the volume tab, we see we have ringtone, vibration pattern, notification sounds, do not disturb. And under the system tab, we have touch sounds, screen lock sounds, emergency tone, and charging sound. Under key tap feedback tab, we have dialing, keypad tones, and keyboard sound. And under the advanced tab, we have sound quality and effects. And if you're looking for something else, there's answering and ending calls and a smart alert section. Notifications, we have app icon badges, and as you can see here, all app notifications, you can select which apps you want to receive notifications from. In this case, all of these apps, basically everything on here, it has been enabled. And under the advanced tab, we see we have, let this load here for a second, advanced notification settings. Pretty self-explanatory. No, sorry, as I kind of bumped the tripod there. And then under display, we have brightness, outdoor mode, font and screen zoom, screen mode, and under screen mode, we have adaptive display, cinema, photo, and basic. And then if you can read this right here, if you have adaptive display enabled, it basically automatically optimizes the color range, saturation, and sharpness of your display. This mode may not be compatible with third-party apps. And then we have home screen. Underneath home screen, we have home screen layout, home screen grid, apps screen grid, apps button. And as you can see, you can either hide the apps button or show the apps button. Back out of that, you can see that there is no current apps button enabled. So that's quite a nice feature there. And then we have app icon badges, add apps to home screen, quick open notification panel, hide apps, and about home screen. And then we have easy mode, icon frames, status bar. Under status bar, we have show recent notifications only, and it will only display the 3 most recent notifications, and the show battery percentage, which I always like on just about every phone that has that. It's quite handy. Screen timeout, screen saver, and vision, well, language and input, and a vision, how you say, section. Sorry, I'm kind of getting a little bit ahead of myself, like I always do. Wallpapers and themes, pretty self-explanatory. Under advanced features, we have games, which you can manage useful features while you play games. One-handed mode, quick launch camera, multi-window, direct call, smart alert, easy mute, swipe to call or send messages, dual messenger, send SOS messages, and direct share, and a tab for easy mode. And then under device maintenance, we see that we basically get all the core aspects of Android, such as battery information, storage, and memory usage. And then we have apps, pretty self-explanatory there. Lock screen, we have screen lock type, which I currently have set to swipe. I have no current lock screen on this device as of yet. Then we have smart lock, which would be enabled if you have a screen lock other than swipe. Then under clock and information, we get clock style, which you can change the clock on the lock screen, which is very neat and very cool in itself. So you have all these options to choose from. So if I go ahead and cycle through these, you can see that they're actually quite elegant and quite nice. Me personally, I like to stick with the default clock, which is this one right here. And then we have roaming clock, face widgets, contact information, notifications, and app shortcuts. App shortcuts meaning these 2 little apps right here on the lock screen. And then we have security, Google Play Protect, Find My Mobile, Security Update, Install Unknown Apps, Secure Folder, App Permission Monitor, Secure Startup, Encrypt SD card, and under other security settings, we have Set Up SIM Card Lock, Make Passwords Visible, and then under the Security Update Service tab, we see Security Policy Updates and Send Security Reports. Then we have under Device Administration, we have Device Admin Apps. Under Credential Storage, we have Storage Type, View Security Certificates, User Certificates, Install from Device Storage, Clear Credentials, and under Knox Security, we have Knox Active Protection. And then under the Advanced tab, we have Pin Windows, Usage Data Access, Notification Access, and Do Not Disturb Permission. And then we also get sections for Screen Lock Type, Backup and Restore, and Location. And then under Cloud and Accounts, we have Samsung Cloud. And then under Accounts, we have, well, pretty self-explanatory there. You can add accounts or remove accounts or auto-sync data, backup and restore, smart switch, and another tab for our location. And then we have Google, then we have accessibility, and we have vision, hearing, dexterity and interaction, text-to-speech, direction lock, direct access, accessibility shortcut, notification timer, answering and ending calls, single tap mode, and there are no services currently installed. Talkback would be one service that would be found underneath this tab, but I have that service currently disabled because I do not need that service on here. And then under here we have easy mode and send SOS messages. And then under general management, we basically get language and input, date and time, report diagnostic information, and reset. And then we also get settings or sections for accounts, backup and restore, and data usage. Help, then under the about phone, we see that the model name is the Galaxy J3 Orbit. This thing, I have not activated this phone as of yet. I probably will do so later on down the road, and hopefully I can be able to use it on my carrier, but that's a different story. Status, if we take a look at the status, we can see we have SIM card status, IMEI information, and the list goes on from there. Legal information, under software information, we see that we have Android 8.0.0 Oreo with the Samsung Experience version of 9.0, and I currently do not have any information about if this device is going to be getting Android 9, so that's that. I have no word on that, and I'm not sure of the... Let's just say I'm not sure if it's going to get Android 9. It's just that we'll have to see when the time comes. And then we have baseband version, kernel version, build number, all this good stuff. You can pause to read that. With the Android security patch level of September 1st, 2018. So this device is not quite up to date, but it's pretty up to date considering how new it actually is. Oh, I'm not really done here. And then we have battery information and another tab called, another section that we can reset some settings from. And then we have software update, which if we go ahead and check now, go ahead and check for update, you will see that the software is currently up to date. And that basically does it for the settings portion of the Galaxy J3 Orbit. So now let's go ahead and jump into the camera. And both cameras on the J3 Orbit are able to shoot in full 1080p, both front and rear, which is a really nice inclusion. So let's go ahead and take a look at the toggles we have. Starting from left to right, we have the camera flip button to switch between the front and rear cameras, or another nice gesture is we can just flip the camera like so, up or down. It really doesn't matter, which is quite nice and handy. And then we have our full screen button. If we tap that, it'll basically go full screen, or full view as they call it, which is quite nice. Then we have our flash auto, on or off, and then we have our settings button. And let's go ahead and take a look at the camera settings while we're here. So picture size, right now it's currently set at 4:3 at 8 megapixels, and it goes down from there. Video size, currently set at full HD at 1920 by 1080, and it goes down all the way to VGA resolution. Timer, and for the front camera, we see we have 4:3 at 5 megapixels, and it goes down by there. Video size, also 1920 by 1080, and it goes down from there to VGA. Save pictures, plural, as previewed. Shooting methods, oh my mistake, wrong tab. Shooting methods, which we basically get tab to screen to take selfies, which I'll go ahead and enable that. And show palm, which basically you show your whole hand to the front camera, or let me go ahead and see if that works here actually. Okay, well, it's not wanting to work. Oh, there it is. My mistake, it did work, actually. So let's go back here. And under the common section, we get grid lines, location tags, review pictures, quick launch by double pressing the home key twice, which I do have disabled. I actually kind of find that annoying on certain occasions. Then we have floating camera button, volume key function. You can either set the volume keys to take pictures, record video, zoom, or system volume. I find it handy to have it at zoom. Shutter sound, which you guys all should know, which I hate and I always turn off on every phone that has the toggle. and reset settings. And then basically I already taken you guys around the front and rear camera settings of the J3 Orbit, so let's go ahead and take a look down here and see what else we get. So right here is something called stickers, which I actually found that quite interesting in the unboxing of this phone. And right now it's currently showing that, well, only 3 little how you say, buttons. A Samsung Galaxy stamp, as you can see right there, Samsung Galaxy camera, and then presumably our recents button, and then another stamp here. Oh, this is where you find all your stamps. So as you can see there, really nice. I'm not going to take the time to go over them because there's so many, as you can see, and because I'm kind of short on time, but that's pretty nice nonetheless. That's quite unique too. And then we have our record button, which you can tap that, and as you can see, it can't apply stickers while recording videos, but this is the first time I've honestly done a video test, and it looks really good while I'm recording video. And while it's recording, you can either pause it like so, stop it, and you can also take a photo if you saw that little toggle. And you can preview your videos by touching and holding the record button. Well, you can see that little message there. Touch and hold the record button to preview the aspect ratio before recording. So that's actually quite neat. This is my first time taking a look at it, and wow. Oh, my bad. I kind of thought I was previewing the recently taken video, but I'm previewing what it will look like. No, my bad. Oh, I don't know what's going on here, my bad. So let's stop that. And then over here is your recently taken photos and videos. As you can see here, there's the photos and videos. Kind of got a little sidetracked by that little notification. And there is all the photos and videos I've currently taken. So in a way, that basically does it for the camera portion. And honestly, the cameras on this phone are not half bad whatsoever. Especially if you're in bright, direct sunlight, you can expect the camera quality to be really good for an 8 megapixel camera. But hands down, the camera on this phone is more than acceptable in almost, and I mean almost, any kind of lighting situation. So there you guys have it, the review of the Samsung Galaxy J3 Orbit. So that's going to do for me in this video. But before I actually go, I would like to give a quick shout out to someone. And that shout out goes to my boy Electronic Consumer, or Justin, because if we go ahead and load up his channel, go to the subscriptions tab and actually look for him really quick. Aha, Electronic Consumer. I'd like to give a quick shout out to him because he currently has hit 1,000 subscribers. And I remember back in the day thinking that I would never reach such a milestone, but here I am at 5,000 plus subscribers. I'm still grateful and happy and really appreciate everyone's support to this day, and I will continue to do so for probably years to come, and that means a lot. So being that he has 1,000 subscribers, I'd appreciate it if you go over to his channel and show him some love and tell him techgeekjosh sent you. It'll be much appreciated. So with all that being said, guys, that's going to do it for me for the review of the Samsung Galaxy J3 Orbit. And I'll catch everyone in the next video.